Now that we've created a slider, I'd like to go into a little bit more depth about Visual Composer, and we'll do that all together. So we have our test page here. Open that up. You can see that we have different elements that we've already added. We added the single image. We added a text block here. So I'm going to open up Visual Composer by clicking this plus. Now see, if you see that it says prepend to this column, meaning whatever I create will be above this, and this is the same thing. It'll just be at the end. So if I open this up, it'll show us all of the different things that we have here. Now I'll just go through all of these briefly. So this is what is called a row. Actually, I need to close this to show you what that means. You can see that this is already a row, and it's a full width row. We can change this to a 50%, 50-50 side. We can have it 2/3 and a third, 3, 4, and so on. There's all kinds of different pre-layouts you can do. So you can see that right there. And custom, so like say you wanted this, but you wanted the third on the other side, you would just click custom and reverse it. So I'll show you that you can also insert a row into another row. So like, for example, we have this row is a full width row. If we want to do inside this row, we could add a separate row that's, say, 50%. And now you can see we have two different things we can select from. We can add a text block here, just like that. And we can, say, for example, add an image here. So let's go down to single image we've already used. Let's add a new image. Change this to full, so it's the full size of the image. Let's see. I believe this is the image, or it might be this. Let's see if we got another image. Yeah, we do. So let's grab this one. It's a clock on a wall, I believe. So we can retitle this clock and add it to the alt text just to show you that we have now created our image here. So we have our text. We can drag this and swap them. We can drag them outside of the row. We can add it below the row. We can put them together and add more stuff here. For now, we'll just leave them we'll leave them just like that. So let's go into Visual Composer again and look at some of the options we have. So we have text block, which I've already gone through. It's just you can see a block of text with the WYSIWYG editor. And you can play around with all of these, and I encourage you to, kind of see what they do. This is like an icon kind of call to action situation. This would be a separator, just a line, a horizontal line. This is a separator with text, so kind of like splitting up sections of your site. Notification box, Facebook, Twitter, like and tweet buttons, Google Plus button, Pinterest button. This is an FAQ kind of toggle element where you can set like a question and an answer, and then if we look at that, I'll show you. You can see that it has the toggle like, oh, okay, what is this, your question here in your answer there. And so you have all these different kinds of options to play around with. Let's go back and cancel that, although it still showed up, so we can now delete it so we can show you what that's like. So you can see toggle title, get rid of that. Alright, so we'll go back in, let's see what else we got. We have the single image, which we've dealt with already. We have an image gallery, which is the same idea, except it's for multiple images. And you have this kind of these kind of different little sliders you can use, or you can do an image grid, and you can add as many images as you want to this. So you can just hold down Shift while you're selecting them and add all these images in, and you can rearrange them and change the size. You can have them open to a lightbox or do nothing. So that's the image gallery. Close that and delete it. Let's see what else we got. We got an image carousel, which is similar to that, except it's animated and it's going to go around. So you can see it's kind of like a slider. It's a carousel slider. You can see that if we look back at it, it gives you an idea. Animated carousel with images. We have tab content, so it's like you can see right here. There's 3 different tabs, and the text is in each tab you can assign. So you can see that we have tab 1, and if we click this pencil here, you'll see tab 1. We can name this. My computer's doing something weird. Alright, that was fun. So let's call it, this is a tab, and we can add an icon to it. Why not? You can choose where it is. Let's do before the title. And we can select the icon for which we would like to use. So, little martini glass. Save the changes. So we have that, and then we can add any content we want into the tab itself. So you can see we have the second tab here. We can click on that to edit that tab, add content to that. We'll just add a text block here and click save. And we'll just leave this one just for tutorial benefits. So you can see that we have this row, and then we can actually add a totally different row here if we'd like to. So let's go back in and look at some other things. So you have tour, which is essentially the tabs just on the other side. We have an accordion, which is essentially you see these 2 things right here. When you click one, content comes out. You click another, content slides out. Pageable containers, you can just have some content. You could select through it. This is a custom heading. You will probably see this one. So you can have either custom text or page or post title. So if that is selected, then it will display, in our case, test page. We can do custom text, and this is a custom heading element. We can add a link to it. We can choose what kind of H tag we want, or if it's a paragraph or a div or whatever. We can align it. Let's do center. Change the font size. The other thing is, I would say use this. Use font theme default font family. Otherwise, you can go through and right there was Lobster. These are all Google fonts that you can choose from. Let's click this one for yes. So we have a little custom heading now. Let's go back in and look at a few others. Button. Very similar to the button that we created in the slider revolution. So, apologize, my computer's acting up right now. I'm not sure why. Just give it a second. So we have what's on the button itself, the text. We can choose where it links. Again, we've seen this before, so we'll link it to the contact page. Set that link. We can choose the style. We have all kinds of different style, custom, modern. We could do rounded or square. We could do all these different colors. I like this pink one. We could choose the size. We can choose the alignment. And we can add an icon again. We can add animation. So let's just insert that. This is going to be a very strange looking page. So let's go back in. Different things. I don't want to get into too many of these things. If you'd really like to play around with this, you can. Like these can be useful embedding a video from YouTube. All you need to do is grab the YouTube URL and put it right in. Same goes for a Google Map. You can add a Google Map just by getting the embed code and pasting it in. There's other different kinds of things here. We have media post grids. We can add empty space to separate things if we really want to. We can add a gravity form if we have one created, and I believe we do. So add the contact form and click Save Changes. Now we have a gravity form here. What else we got? So what I really wanted to do is get to slider revolution here. So there's two of them. It doesn't really matter which one you choose. I'm not entirely sure why there are two, but if you click on it, you can see this is the slider that we created, test slider. So we're going to select it, and we're going to add it. You can see it's right there. So we're going to click update, and we're going to view this page and see all of the glorious things we just created. So let's look. So you can see there's our beautiful beaches slider and all the animations and the buttons are there. Hurry and book your trip today. You can see it's all like that. And you can remember we did an auto slider, so it's giving us the full height of this image that we have here. So if we scroll down to the rest of the stuff we did, so you can see we did this is a custom heading element. We have a little text button here. We added that form, if you recall. We added this as a tab, and that's another tab with nothing in it. You can see that we did that separation where we had the text block here and the image on the right. We have this one, which was this was a full-length row, and this was the one we split in half. And you can see that all of these things are on the page. And once again, if you come here, excuse me, you click front-end editor, you can view what we've done live. Sans for the what's it called? The slider. It's not going to show up, but that's okay because we know it's there. So you can come in here and edit all of these things visually, and when you're done, click update. We'll go back. And so that is an in-depth look at Visual Composer and how to add a slide to your page. And that's it.